Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have it all together? Meals planned, groceries bought, and dinner on the table without breaking a sweat. It's not magic, it's a system. And today we're diving into the world of meal prepping and exploring how simple routines can make a huge impact on your daily life. I'm joined with Billie Jo Cochran, who's been mastering the art of meal prepping and created habits that stick as she's gone through an adoption journey with her growing family. Together, we're going to break down how creating some structure can simplify your day, save time, and reduce stress. So, whether you're a parent, a busy professional, or just looking for ways to stay organized and simplify life, this episode is for you. In our most sleep deprived moments, our children will teach us exactly what we need in order to learn and grow into who we were created to be. These are the loving lessons we will learn whether we were wanting to or not. I'm Irene Googe, your sleep coach, and I'm on mission to educate parents on how to help their young children sleep. Welcome to the journey. Hello, and welcome to the Loving Lessons Learned podcast. Today, we are talking with my good friend, Billie Jo, and she is a mom, a wife, a business owner, and a homeschool mom. She's also going to be your kitchen bestie. You want to know her so you can save time in the kitchen and enjoy dinner around the table. But she's also a mom who has been there where you are, overwhelmed and stressed. And at age 48, her and her husband decided to adopt 3 children. And while she was excited to embrace motherhood, the chaos and overwhelm was very stressful. Realizing that this wasn't the life she wanted for her family, she embarked on a journey to simplify their lives and reduce the chaos. She found a balance that works for her and her family, and now she helps moms like you create spaces and find the right balance for themselves. Let's stop stressing about these everyday tasks of being a mom and let's embrace and implement simple things to control the chaos. Welcome, Billie Jo.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, Billie, when you and I first met, you were making wedding cakes,
Yes, a lot of them.
a lot of wedding cakes. And I have to say, I've gotten to sample some of your stuff and I know it's so delicious. So
Thank you.
tell me a little bit about this transition to the things that you're doing now.
Well, right before COVID hit, my husband and I decided to back out of opening a bakery. I wasn't passionate about baking all the time like I was, and I was tired. I was had bursitis in my hip. I just wasn't happy, and we both felt God was calling us to do something else. And when COVID hit, we were really thankful we backed out of it, and it ended up being a godsend. My husband was one of the first 100 or 1,000 cases in North Carolina with COVID and almost died. So we really reevaluated our life after that. And at the end of 2020, we started talking about fostering and looking into becoming foster parents. And we did our very first interview at the end of 2020, and we started the process at the beginning of 2021. And the system in our state was so far behind that there was a wait list. But God works in wonderful ways, and we were supposed to start the classes, and then we couldn't, and then they asked us to start, but we had a vacation planned, and so we couldn't. And then we decided we wanted a bigger house because we wanted to foster anywhere from 2 to 5 kids, and we wanted a 4-bedroom house so we could house more kids. My husband and I are both the youngest of 5 kids, so we wanted to be able to have siblings. So we sold our house. We were told we'd have to wait until we knew where we were living because we were going to live in an apartment. And then she was like, nope, we're going to just get you through the process. So at the end of 2021, we got matched with a family because at this time we actually said we wanted to foster to adopt. We didn't want kids to be split up. We wanted to give kids a good home, and we were given a bio on 3 kids, and we were put at the top of the list to meet them. And we met them at the beginning of 2022, and we just hit it off with them. We walked away and we said, these are our kids. We absolutely love them. Like from the minute we met them, we loved them. And we just had such a special bond. Like my little one, who is my little mini me, was sitting on my lap like that day. Like we just had a bond, and they end up moving in April of that year. And that's kind of when kind of everything really started to change, because they would come for visits and the chaos wasn't that bad. But when they moved in, our calm life went right to chaos, because I like things organized. I'm not like, oh my goodness, everything has to have a place, but I like simple things. I like organization. I like to be able to find things. I don't like tripping over toys or stepping on Legos. So it was an adjustment. They lived with us 2 weeks before they actually started school, and we had a lot of adjustments that first year, especially with my son. He was on ADHD medicine. We were able to pull him off of that just by simply having structure and organization, and just by feeding him healthy foods. And we started dealing with a lot of trauma with the kids. So not only did we have chaos in our house, we had chaos going on in our minds. So, and now they've been with us 2.5 years, and they've officially been adopted about 2 years.
Mm. I love that story. And I know like the journey has been long, and you've gone from like 0 children, the whole family, just
Yes.
like
And
that.
everyone's like, and I always say, I know we're crazy, but God had a plan for us, and we wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, granted, our 3 kids would like us to adopt another kid, and we're like, no, we're good with 3.
Yeah. Well, I just love the fact that like you realized and recognized your life before was calm, and then it got
Uh-huh.
chaotic. I'm curious as to what it looked like as you were starting to implement those routines in your home. What did that look like as you got it started? Because I'm thinking that a lot of times as moms, we get very overwhelmed and stressed out. And you speak my love language of implementing flexible routines, because it's like that's how we function, that's how we can do well. So, what was that journey like for you as you were getting
Well,
started?
I wanted to be that mom that did everything. Like, I was a room parent for one of my kids. I didn't get picked for the other two. For one of them, 2 of them, I was a room parent, but one anyway. But I wanted to be that mom. The kids were involved in stuff. They were behind in school. We were doing tutoring. We were doing therapy. We were trying to get them involved in like ninja and soccer. Like there was just so much going on. But I wanted to be like the soccer mom, but I just wanted to be that mom. I wanted to be the mom that these kids hadn't had and that they really needed. And as we did all that stuff, I felt like I was drowning and drowning and drowning. And I wasn't happy. Like I was happy being a mom, but I wasn't happy with all the chaos. Like I don't know how else to explain it, except like I felt like I was drowning in my own chaos. And it wasn't necessarily in the house, it was more just in my head.
It sounds
So
like you were putting those expectations on yourself.
I did. And I wanted to be the perfect mom. And I really have had to do in the past year a lot of mindset shifts, and really teach myself mind over matter, faith over fear, and really just teach myself mindset and how to say, okay, I'm starting to go down that rabbit hole. I need to pull myself back. And it's helped me a lot because I'm able to do that with my kids now. Like, okay, we're having a bad day, we're having a meltdown. Come on, let's really dial in, because kids that have trauma deal with things differently, and the littlest thing could set them off. Like the littlest thing, you just never know what's going to set them off. So you have to have techniques in place. So it's been really helpful for me and really helpful for them. But we really just, I looked at our life and I'm like, I don't want to live this way. And I don't want to live this way for my kids. Like, I don't want my kids living this way. Like, pick that up, pick that up. All right, come on. We got to clean. We got to clean. The cleaning lady's coming. We got to do this. I felt like a nag, and I didn't want to be that person. And
Yeah.
so what we did was, and how all this really came about was that we wanted to save money. We were giving our kids everything, and it almost was too much for them. So we had to dial back, and we were just like, all right, let's start saving money. We wanted to do more trips and stuff. And I started meal planning. And I was like, all right, well, we're going to try meal planning, because I run to the grocery store all the time. I mean, I personally like to grocery shop. So running to the grocery store every day wasn't a big deal. Like, If I could grocery shop for someone for a living, I'd probably be happy because I love to grocery shop. But
Well,
I
that's
was
good.
like,
I think
this.
some people might sign you up for that.
So I was like, and I love to cook, but I wasn't enjoying being in the kitchen because I was cooking just about every night. And I went from cooking for 2 people to cooking for 5 people. And it's so much different because even if you go cook from two and you cook to three, it's different because every serving size is different and all that. So I was like, and these kids are growing and they're eating. So I really just took a step back and I'm like, all right, I'm going to start meal planning. So I started meal planning and it was a disaster because I still was running to the grocery store all the time. And instead of being able to like go to the park after school, I was running to the grocery store and I was like, yeah, this isn't working. So I took the time to teach myself how to meal plan. And I was like, wow, I know what's for dinner tonight. This is great. Oh, wow, we're having leftovers. I don't have to cook. I can read with my kid. We can do devotions after dinner. I was like, I started to feel a sense of calm. And I'm like, all right. And so when I find something that I like that is working, I get hungry for more. And I was like, what else can I do? And so we started meal prepping. And I was like, all right, we're going to cut fruits and veggies for my kids for lunch because I was getting up every morning and cutting fruits or vegetables or packing their lunch, like those fancy lunches. And I was like, okay, I'm not taking care of myself. So something else we got to keep working on this. So we started meal prepping and the first week or two was like vegetables and fruit. And I was like, nope, we're going to do more than this. And now I'm obsessed with meal prepping. My entire family is like, we all meal prep. Like sometimes it's my husband and I, sometimes it's my daughter and me, sometimes it's two of my kids with my husband. We all do a little bit of meal prepping, and that helps a lot. And I was like, wow, I'm not sure. Breakfast is a breeze now. Lunch is mainly taken care of. Dinner, like, I'm like, wow, I can actually have time to work on me and take care of myself. Like when my husband comes home from work and he works late some nights and some nights he gets home for dinner. He can come home and I'm not like rushing around trying to get dinner on the table. I'm like, hey, let's have a 5-minute conversation before we're bombarded with kids. So as I started implementing all these routines, I started becoming a lot happier, a lot less stressful, a lot overwhelming. And I was like, well, what else can I do as just someone that was thriving and like really just finding a calm? So I started implementing routines in our house that we keep our house clean. We call them responsibility charts. We don't call them chore charts, or we call them checklists. And we kind of do different things. Like we go through phases on what my kids like. And now everyone's like, all right, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. Mom, can I have help? And it has become a team effort. It's not just mom has to do everything or or my husband has to do everything or the kids have to do everything. We all kind of take part of it. And this past summer, we realized how much all of those things really have helped our family. Like it kind of, I wouldn't say maybe came full circle from like 2 years ago when the kids moved in and we were really stressed. We came back from vacation on a Sunday and we were home early enough and we meal prepped for the week. My husband and I got some meal prepping done. And the next morning, I took the kids to an eye doctor appointment. We went to the grocery store. We came home. We cut up the fruits and vegetables. And a half hour later, I broke my foot. And my husband started a new job that day. My oldest daughter was at my mother in law's house. So I had my 8-year-old and my 10-year-old who were already freaked out because they heard me scream when I fell. And they had to go to the urgent care with me. And they were able to get their dinner that night because we had meal prep the night before. So I was in pain. I couldn't stand and really do anything. And my husband was off later that week and he goes, wow, I didn't realize how much your systems help because if we didn't have all this stuff and I didn't know what to clean or what we needed to do, he goes, this house would have been a disaster. And instead of you resting, you would have been trying to do everything. So you never know what's going to happen. But I truly believe that routines can make a huge difference in your life. And these routines have become habits. Like I couldn't imagine going through a weekend without meal prepping.
Yeah.
I really couldn't.
I love so many things that you're saying there because it is moving away from like just chore charts and sharing the
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities. And I think as moms, sometimes we carry that burden, like we have to do all of the things and learning to delegate.
Hmm.
is, I think, a new task for some moms. But I also love that you talk about like the meal prepping, because one of the things I share with my families is like, let's make sure we establish feeding, right? Like our
Hmm.
kids want to eat every day, 3 times a day with some snacks. And so it can be very overwhelming, and so it sounds like you've seen the fruit of your labor of like
Hmm.
establishing those meals and having that prepped and all. And I love that you have a system. The one thing I
Yes.
keep hearing is like you have a system, and when you have that system, there's so much freedom from it. But I
Hmm.
think what do you say to the mom or a parent that's listening right now and is like, it just sounds too overwhelming to get started?
It's not. Start with one thing at a time. So maybe it's you start with cleaning out your pantry so you see what you have, and then you maybe go to meal prep or meal planning. Okay, to me, you can't meal prep if you don't meal plan because you don't know what you're prepping. So start with something simple. Start with cleaning your home 15 minutes a day or closing down your kitchen at night and waking up to that clean kitchen in the morning is not like you're walking down, oh my goodness, there's dirty dishes in this thing. Oh, I got to clean. But you're walking down to a clean kitchen, which is like, it's just like a relief. Or you're going to bed at a decent hour. You're making yourself a priority. I put my phone away minimum 30 minutes before I go to bed. Like I'll turn my alarm on an hour or two before I go to bed. And I put my phone away just to help calm my mind down and get me ready for a good night's sleep.
Yeah. One of the things, Billy Joe, that I'm hearing is that it's not just about meal prepping, it's like the routines and the habits
Hmm.
around the mealtime that really
Yes.
make an impact. It's like a whole day event.
Yeah. And I'm so less stressed. And when I'm like, people are like, how do you do it? Like, we were able to pull two of our kids a week before the third quarter ended last year and started homeschooling them. And if we didn't have our routines in the place, I don't know how we would have been able to homeschool them. I run my own business. I was able to do that while they were in school. And now my mornings are dedicated to homeschooling for a few hours, but it makes because of our routines, I'm able to homeschool them. The kids are able to get up in the morning, they're able to get their own breakfast, eat, and start school. And then I get in and I'll start working with, usually it's Isabella, and then it's JJ a little bit, and then Lily a little bit. But I'm able to be hands on with them when they need it. And then when they want a snack, they just go to our kitchen. We have snack bins for them, or we make these delicious granola bars that we're all kind of hooked on. So they'll go and just go get a granola bar that we make, or they'll have a piece of fruit or yogurt, and they're good. Like they know what we have. And I don't have to hear, Mom, can I have a snack? Mom, can I have a snack? Or Mom, what's for snack? They know what they can have.
It sounds like you already have like those set expectations, like you shared when we're having this, what it looks
Yeah.
like. I'm wondering if you'd be open to sharing that recipe with us for the protein bars.
Oh my goodness, I definitely will. And it's an
Okay.
easy recipe to make. My 8-year-old makes them and my 12-year-old makes them. And we've already this week alone have made 2 batches of them.
Oh my gosh, amazing. So I love to share recipes that are quick and easy so parents
Yes.
can, meal
Hmm.
prep and get things ready and include their kiddos in that
Yeah.
process. I heard you say earlier that your one little guy, I think he was struggling with ADHD. And
Hmm.
as you started meal prepping, like things changed because of the structure. I wonder if you can talk a
Hmm.
little bit about what that journey looked like.
Yeah. So all three of our kids have ADHD and it's trauma induced in all of them. Our two younger ones have a more severe case of it, but structure we have found and has helped them a lot because someone, and I have ADD too, but someone that has a lot of stuff around them, it goes in their head. So we have been able to declutter a lot in our house and streamline processes and what's in our spaces and really just learn to live a more simple life. And having a simplified life has been huge for us. But balanced diets for kids with ADHD, like we've cut out everything with artificial coloring because that's actually a reaction for kids with ADHD. We load them with protein. Like he was in school, he would have so much protein for breakfast, and we were able to balance his diet. His teachers didn't even know he went off ADHD medicine.
Hmm.
Like they said, they didn't see it. They said, actually, he's a lot better because we were able to maintain his like balance so he wasn't all over the place. And we're able to help him calm down with, okay, take deep breaths if things are overwhelming for you or you feel like you're being hyper. But he also knows, like, he'll go, Mommy, I'm really craving some protein. I need something protein. What do we have?
That's so
And
good
so
that
they
he learned
know
to
that,
tune in.
yes. And all of them have. They're like, my oldest daughter, she's like, I need protein. Like, they realize how much protein, how important protein is for your body because we set the examples. Like, Jim and I are like, all right, we have to have X amount of grams of protein a day, and we make sure we're eating a protein based meal every meal.
Hmm. I wonder, do you like in your programs, do you share what that looks like for someone who's like, how do I figure this out? What do I need for meal prepping? Because I'm just thinking, I was like, I've noticed that personally for myself, needing more protein and working to
Mhm.
incorporate that for my kiddos. What does that look like
Um,
for somebody
we
working with you?
just I mean, we can definitely talk about it. I'm definitely not an expert on it. I definitely, and being in premenopause, like that stage where your whole body changes, it's a tough stage to be in. But that protein, when I have that protein, I feel so much better. So I do teach in all your meals, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, need to be a protein based meal. And then that after school snack or afternoon snack needs to be something with protein because I feel like it's going to get that kid to dinner, especially with a kid that has ADHD, or just even a kid in general. They're working so hard in school to learn and to keep it together that when they come home, it's their safe spot. So a lot of times, like JJ would come home and this was a safe spot, and he'd be like all over the place. And it was, okay, let's get some protein in you. Let's eat. Let's focus and like just really calm ourselves down and have a little bit of a snuggle time. Or maybe it was a little bit of hanging out, playing a game, just something to help him relax. But we could see when that protein was in him, what a difference it makes. And when we travel, and we love to travel, we always make sure we have protein based snacks for the car ride, for the airplane ride, because these kids just will function better on it.
Yeah. No, that's so true. That witching hour can get really hairy for families and all that
Yes.
transition, everyone coming home from school or
Hmm.
coming home from work and all depending on everybody's family situation. So that's a really great tip to
Yeah,
share
and
that.
especially if they're after school, like, because they do, like, our kids do after school activities and they kind of vary. But I would pick them up from school, and if I had to take them somewhere, I would make sure that they had a protein snack because I needed them to be able to balance. And protein, I feel like, really helps me focus better. And I can see everyone in our family focuses better when we have the protein in us.
So I know, Billy, you have older kiddos. Do you
Hmm.
work with families that have like infants, toddlers, and preschoolers as well?
Yes. Hmm.
And what tips
I
do you
think
have for mamas with that like infant to toddler to preschool season when kiddos can't be so independent? Because that is one of the perks of children as they get older.
so. Why mine are older, maturity wise, they're not there as probably like a 6-year old would be when we met her, but very dependent still on me. Like, my youngest is still very dependent on me. And I would say in the past couple of weeks, she's slowly coming out of that stage. Like, Mommy, I don't want you to do my hair today. And that was really heartbreaking for me because I love to do her hair. That's kind of like
Yeah.
our special time. But teaching them young, I mean, I remember being a kid and being 4 years old or something and emptying the silverware or setting the table. Like, my mom would get the stuff out. I think that pretty much any age, I mean, if they're walking and talking, we're teaching them to put their toys away, it really can make a difference because we're teaching them responsibility at a young age. And I do share age appropriate chores or responsibilities for kids, like what a younger kid can do, what an older kid can do. And we never know what they're going to be able to do unless we give them the chance. And will they do it the way we like it? No. Because as moms, we have that perfectionism and that everything has to be perfect. But I've learned to just be, you know what? Thank you for doing that. Like, thank you for taking the time. And you never know, they might come up with a great idea. My kids vacuum the stairs better than me because they'll take the vacuum apart and they'll make it small. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have time for that. I'm just going to do it this way. But they do a better job. And it's just teaching them that, like teaching them that manners with it too. Like, okay, like I went to etiquette school when I was really young, where you learn that the fork went on the left side, the knife went on the right side, and the spoon. And you kind of just teach that. And those things all are going to build into bigger habits down the road. And so, why mine didn't have a lot of those habits or didn't know a lot when they were younger, we've been able to kind of backtrack and go to, okay, this is what we would have had to teach someone younger. And now we're able to build on those smaller things.
Yeah, I love it. You literally are speaking my love language because I think it's so important to share those responsibilities for our little ones. Because I think that's
Hmm.
going to help us sleep better, right? Like, because it's going
Yeah.
to just feel calmer. We're going to eat well, and then
Mhm.
we're going to be able to sleep well. And it's just a beautiful, more calming day for everybody.
Hmm.
Love that.
And they might like teach them to put the dishes in the dishwasher. You know what? They're going to break a dish, but you can't get mad at them. You can't yell at them. I mean, I broke dishes just because I've gone to pick something up and it's flew out of my hand or it slipped out of my hand. But it's just a matter of teaching them those little things like, okay, pick up your room. Like, all right, let's make sure there's nothing on the floor, especially if you have a dog. Our dog likes to find whatever on the floor and eat it.
Mhm. So I'm wondering if you have any tips as parents are maybe like traveling or going into holidays, like what that looks like with your routines for your
Oh,
kids.
yes. So we love to travel as a family, and we do we're actually going away soon, but and I'm going to be doing some travel blogs, like, and I have some like how to travel with kids. And we are the family that does not stop for Chick-fil-A on a drive if we're driving somewhere. We actually meal prep for those trips, like our road trips, and
Okay.
we have the kids so excited about it. But just to make it fun, it saves money. We're eating healthier because we really try to stay away from fast food. But 2 Christmases ago, I was so excited for Christmas. It was the first Christmas for the kids, and I wanted to do it all for them. And it did not go as planned at all.
Oh,
When I say it didn't go as planned at all, it didn't go as planned at all as I would have liked it. It was just crazy. We're dealing with a lot of meltdowns, a lot of meltdowns, like where kids were breaking down, but they were also going through a lot because their adoption was being finalized, and they were excited, and they just had a lot of emotions. So last year I started working on creating checklists for the busy mom for the holidays and stuff. And this year we are doing one for it is called Simplify Holiday Planner. It's going to be your ultimate checklist for a joyful season
okay.
because
I'm
we
going to
want to
share that
simplify.
down below so parents can
Yes.
take advantage of that.
I feel like we want to simplify things and not make them as chaotic. And part of that is learning to say no during the holidays. Don't think you have to say yes to everything, or you have to get your kids a gift for like 20 gifts or whatever. It's really just simplifying it. And the one thing I'm gonna talk about it in there is more about experiences for your kids, not so many gifts, because they're going to remember the experiences. And one of the things I'm gonna share that we're gonna do is a scavenger hunt Christmas light. So you make a list of I have a list, and you have like Rudolph, you have Santa Claus, you have a manger scene, you have candy cane, and you have a contest to see who can find them all as you go and look for Christmas lights with hot chocolate in your pajamas. And it doesn't get super cold down here where we live, so hot chocolate's a little hot, but
It's
it's
all
something
good.
our kids have loved for the past 2 years, and that's so it's fun. But it's simple activities that don't really cost a lot of money because it's Christmas time. We're spending money on other things. How to fake Frosty coming to your house,
So
but just different
fun.
things, different planner things to make it fun, but to make it enjoyable. So I'm really excited about this.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I need to download that checklist for myself and inspire my teenagers to get into the holiday spirit with me. Cause you know what? Like as they get older, things change. And when they're younger, we can modify and do things. So it's so fun to be
Hmm.
able to make it work for whatever season of life you are in with your
Hmm.
friends. You know,
Yes.
th-
So, but I will say my meal planning and meal prepping during the holidays is when you really need it because you're so busy. and you have so many extra activities. And meal planning and meal prepping last year was our lifesaver because we were able
Yeah.
to do more stuff because everyone, it's like free activities, shopping, you're doing all this stuff. And meal planning and meal prep was our saving grace last year for the Christmas time.
That's what I was gonna say. I believe flexible routines create a lot of
Hmm.
freedom and that structure
Yeah.
that just create a lot less chaos and you just
Yeah.
experience the calm. And so I think
Hmm.
I'm seeing how when you have that good system in place, everything's
Hmm.
better. And you don't have to think
Yeah.
about these things. It's you've made the decision and you're ready to roll.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
well, I know that we
Definitely
could
agree.
talk all day long. Billy, I wonder if you could tell us about the programs you have for your families before we do our top 5 love your
Yes.
life.
We have a couple different programs, and I love each one of them. And I think there's something for every mom out there. If you're really just looking to learn how to meal plan, meal prep, we have a guide for that. It takes about 30 minutes to go through this guide. You can learn how to meal prep, meal plan, and I share all of my secrets in there. I'm not holding back. I really want moms to be able to meal plan and meal prep. And I love how much freedom and calm it has brought to my life. So, and it has led to so much. And I love helping other moms and sharing it with them. I also have another a course. It's Simplified Home. There's um, 8 modules in there, and it talks about how to change your mindset. Because as a mom, I feel like that is so important, and how to fight off that negative mindset. We talk about meal planning and meal prepping in depth, and how to plan for the month, not just a week. We talk about organizations and routines for your home, which I love because I hate to clean. And so, little tips on making cleaning easier, I'm all about. And we talk about self care in that because as moms, I feel like we don't take care of ourselves. And the more we take care of ourselves, the better we're going to show up for ourselves and the better we're going to show up for our families. We also have a one-on-one chat where we can work together for 1 month. And we do one call for the month, and then you have support with me for the entire month. And you can walk away from the call with a completed meal plan we can do together. We can create a checklist for your family that we talk about it. I type it up, I send it to you, and you just have my support for whatever you
Oh,
need, how to find in self-care. Because as a mom, I'm going to be like, if you're not taking care of yourself, you really do. Trust me.
yeah.
I'm going to hold you accountable. And after that, like you always can just call me or say, hey, I'm really struggling. I need encouragement. And then I have a group called that's Simplified Living for Busy Moms, where you're going to learn routines and habits that are lasting, that aren't just going to be like, oh, all right, I'm going to meal prep for a little bit. All of my routines we have been doing for a long time. And the more I do them, if I can find a shortcut on cleaning, I'm going to find a shortcut on cleaning. I'm really going to learn more. And with these programs, if there's any updated version, anything we add, you get that too. I just love helping moms, and I know what it feels like to not necessarily have a support system where you live, because we don't have family around us. And when the kids moved in, I had family come down a couple times, but I didn't have that support system right down the street.
Sure.
Like, hey, um, I need dinner, or I forgot something. And I had to figure out a lot on my own. So
Oh,
I'm really love helping moms just to make sure that they have their support. And I always say, like, I have no judgment. Your secret is safe with me. I am willing to help you however I can.
that's so awesome. I just love that accountability piece. And it sounds like that could be a really great place for a mom who's feeling stressed and overwhelmed right now
Hmm.
and needs a starting place. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm
Oh,
going to share a link to all these amazing resources down here in the blog post so you can check things out, whether you're watching or listening. All right. So, Billy,
thanks.
what is your favorite part or favorite parenting product or service that you have?
I'm gonna say the Bible app on my phone,
Oh,
because it's so good to be able to research something if one of your kids are struggling with something, so you can do a devotional with them. If I'm struggling with something as a mom, I can say, okay, you know what? Like Google something on there and have it help me and do a devotion on it. And that has been our biggest thing. And our kids love doing the devotions on the Bible app too. So that has been
Awesome.
like a huge thing for our family.
Oh, I love it. That's one of my favorite things too. What is your best self-care tip?
Make time for yourself. And I actually am going to say, get up before everyone else in your family, because that, even if it's 5, maybe it's 10, 15 minutes before everyone else, will be game changer for you, because it's that calm before the chaos starts. It's my favorite time of the day. I journal, I pray, I do devotions, I talk to God. Right. And I'm probably up 30 minutes before Jim comes down. And then I'm up 2 hours before my kids come down. I get a workout in. I get to have just some time by myself before I have noise in my head most of the day.
Yes. No, I love that. I love a quiet time like that, and makes a huge difference when you decide to start it versus somebody else and you start your day.
Yes.
What is something you never thought you would do or say as a parent?
Um, I really like, the kids say stuff and I really go, did you just say that? Like sometimes what they say, I'm like, really? Really? Like, I just, it makes me wonder what they really say. We do have a lot of one-on-one things, like things that my kids say that, am I in trouble if we call them? And I'm always like, should you be? And they're like, no, maybe, I don't know. But it is, that's one of our funny things. And then I always say, you're lucky you're cute.
I love
Because
it.
it's just, sometimes they say stuff and you just kind of have to make it like kind of fun for them.
Yeah. You never know what those kiddos are going to say. And so
Yeah.
they can throw us off as parents
Yes, definitely can. And they make you laugh.
for sure. What is the one
Mhm.
thing you want parents to really walk away from our conversation knowing today?
That routine and habits work. I'm telling you, they really, really work, because I have seen it firsthand. My life went from calm to chaos overnight, and now it's a lot more calm, and I have so much more time for my family. And that is what is important. I have time to chase my dreams too. I have time to spend with my husband. I can have meaningful conversations with him without thinking about my to do list, or instead of cooking dinner, I can maybe play a game with my kid or take him on a bike ride or something.
So good. And as
Mhm.
a business owner, what's one thing you've learned in your entrepreneurial journey, transitioning from that baker to routine maker? I don't know.
I would say there's two things: to never give up,
Hmm.
because you never know what God has planned for you, and to listen to God, because God's plan is always going to be bigger than you can imagine, but to
Oh,
never give up, because there's times you want to throw in the towel and be like, I quit, or
yes.
it's just hard, and you just never give up. You keep working at it.
Yeah, I love that. So true. We never know the path. We think one thing, but other things,
Yes.
new doors open. And so it's always
Hmm.
amazing. Well, thank
Yes.
you so much for being here, Billy. Thanks for the great
Yeah.
conversation, the
Thank
great
you.
tips to share with everyone listening. And I'll look forward to connecting with you soon. Take
All right.
care.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into today's show. You can see all of the details and show notes below. And as you go out into your day, I hope that you'll make it your mission to be calm, confident, and rested as you lead today. Sweet dreams.